Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Live and Learn. I am here to provide some content that I hope is going to be able to help you out, something you'll be able to take with you, maybe ponder, think about, meditate on. These are things that just come to mind. They're things that have been on my mind. They're just things that I like to share, stuff that's been helpful to kind of go through myself, and I'm sharing it with you. But if you're new to my channel, I want to thank you for, first of all, stopping by. I also want to encourage you to subscribe, to share, to comment. And if you are up to it, there are 3 opportunities in the description of this video and the others to donate financially to my channel. That helps me continue to make content. It helps me to continue to stay consistent and really just be on here doing the best that I can. But that's an option. Also, if you go into the description of the video, you'll find my Instagram and TikTok handle at Live to Learn Coaching. I got to be honest, I've really not been on social media like I had been in the past, taking a little bit of a break. But if you go there, you'll see some reels, you'll see some stuff that I've already put up, and perhaps it'll be helpful. And excuse me, because for whatever reason, I am really congested, allergies. I don't think it's a cold. I don't really know what's going on, but here in SoCal, we've been having some crazy weather, so I'm not really surprised. It's going to affect us. It's going to take its toll on each of us differently. So excuse my voice, but we're celebrating this weekend. It's almost like an unspoken national holiday here in the U.S. It is Super Bowl weekend. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe this is the 58th Super Bowl, and it's in Vegas. And it's going to be between the San Francisco 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs. And I was thinking about it, right? Because it's such a big deal here in America. It's such a huge deal in the U.S. We love our American football. We love our NFL teams. We're diehard fans, right? We get into it. We paint our faces. We buy jerseys. We buy memorabilia. We pay ridiculous amounts of money to go to these games in person, and it's well worth it because it's the memories, it's there's nothing like being at a game. If you've never been to an NFL game, I would encourage you to try to go to one at least once. The energy there is unlike any other. It is electric, and if you're into it, it is such an experience. So I would encourage you, if you haven't had the opportunity, go to an NFL game. But I was thinking about it, right? Like, you got the 2 best teams, okay? You got the American Football Conference, National Football Conference, AFC, NFC. Whoever wins the conference championship of either of those goes to the Super Bowl, and they face each other for the final game. Now, there's all this activity, there's all this, excitement on both ends, right? For both teams. Both sets of fans. But at the end of the day, it is football. It's a game. Someone is going to win, someone's going to lose. And I think a lot about, especially in big games like this, I think a lot about the team that loses. Because they've put in just as much work. They've strategized just as much. They've prayed. They've wished. They've focused. They've spoken it into existence, the results that they want, just as much as the other team. And they still walk away with a loss. I think about how devastating that must be for individuals who have been preparing for this moment. And I always try to figure out, like, what's worse? Is it worse to have a team that's just in the dumps, they're not going anywhere? Or is it worse to have a team that is good enough to get there and just not good enough to finish? It's kind of tough, right? It's like that saying, it's better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all. And it's like, some people are thinking like, well, I'd rather have just protected myself. I'd rather have no feelings. I'd rather have no relationships. I'd rather take no chances than to get hurt. But you got to weigh it out. Yeah, but then I don't experience this. And I thought to myself, it's just so, the Super Bowl, I think about it, it's like, man, it's kind of like how life is sometimes, right? It's this great unfairness that we experience. That there's individuals out there who have done everything they're supposed to do. And yet they don't feel like they're winning. They don't feel like they are achieving what they've set out to achieve. And for a lot of us, this can weigh on us mentally. So what I'm getting at here, this whole Super Bowl analogy, right? Some of you are like, okay, man, like, we get it. It's Super Bowl. You got to use it. But really, when I think of it, it's not that I'm saying, I'm not just trying to come up with this analogy just because it's Super Bowl weekend. It makes sense. Like when you sit back and you think about it, it's like, wow, like we can prepare. We can work hard. We can do the analytics. We can strategize. We can put the pieces in place as they should be and still not get the results that we're looking for. Now what do we do? Do you hold out hope that you'll get another shot? Right? For these teams that don't close the deal, they don't get the win in the Super Bowl. What's their mindset after that? What are they supposed to do? You look toward next season. Okay, what are we going to do? What are we going to do differently, right? You try to learn from your mistakes, but it can be devastating. And for some of us we feel like, hey, listen, man, I've crossed all my T's. I've dotted all my I's. I made sure to put myself in a position where I was going to be successful. And I've yet to see the fruit of my success. What does that do to a person? What does that do to our mental state? What does it do to our mindset, our confidence? Confidence is huge. You want to be confident in yourself. You want to be confident in your abilities. What happens when you don't see the results that you work so hard for? For me, the only way that we can work around this, because I don't think it's completely avoidable for anyone. In fact, any self-help or any material or videos, anything you watch that has to do with becoming successful, achieving, what's the main ingredient? Failure. Disappointment. Anyone who, and I've said this in other videos, and you've heard this from other people, this isn't an original thought of mine, but anyone who we look up to, who we admire, who we look at and we say, oh, that person has achieved this, that, or the other. They are this, that, or the other. However we look to them, they have had to overcome some significant disappointments and failures. And for me, I look at it this way. The only way that it's possible to continue on in spite of is when you make the decision that there is no competition other than the competition with yourself. How do I show up every day for me? Can I quit everything else? Sure. We all have choices. What happens when I quit on me? So now we're talking about something entirely different. So just like those teams that have to go back to the drawing board, they did not get the results that they worked, and they worked hard. They worked hard. And they had the talent, they had the ability. It could have been done. It just didn't happen. You continue to tell yourself, hey, I'm going to continue to do everything that I can to get the results that I want. Nothing's guaranteed. Nothing's promised in life. Right? Other than death and taxes, right? That's what they tell us. Death and taxes, the only guarantees. That's a bet. That's a fact. But the ability to not quit on ourselves, the ability to compete with ourselves continuously, I feel like that gives us a fire, that gives us a drive to maintain this positive outlook. Because here's the thing. Think of the word outlook. You're looking out, you're looking outward, right? Like when we did defensive driving at this company I used to work for, delivery driving, they taught us, look out ahead, scan from left to right, be aware, expect these hazards to interfere. Expect a kid to run out from that car right there. Because if you're expecting it and it actually does happen, your reaction time is going to be that much quicker. You're anticipating. But if I can't look out, I can't anticipate. Which not only means that I may not see a hazard that's coming my way, but I may not see an opportunity. If I quit on myself, if I'm just staring down at the floor at my feet, I may miss out on something that would have made it all worth it. That would have gave some context. It would have given me some context to this. What is this? So I want you to think about that. And I hope that the analogies helped a little bit. I know it's kind of funny, but it's just food for thought, something I was thinking about. You know, we make such a big deal about these sporting events, and they are a big deal. They're serious. They mean a lot to us. We love our teams. We're invested. We're invested. We're invested in ourselves, and sometimes we don't even realize it. Sometimes we don't even acknowledge it. And we should. Because that is the one person you can't quit on. From you, from here, from this, comes everything else. Remember that. Remember that. I hope you have a great day. Thanks again for watching. I appreciate your time. Don't forget to subscribe. Send this to someone you think might benefit from it. Leave me a comment if you enjoyed this video. And please reach out or let me know if there's anything else that you would like me to talk about on here. I'm always open to suggestions. Thanks again.